Okay, welcome to class. My name is Mike Trump, and in this video, I will be showing you the manipulations in pixellab. Let's go into pixellab. Oh, now this is the user interface in pixellab. The link to this hacked pixellab is in the description of my YouTube channel. So do well to go to my YouTube channel and get the link, download it, and subscribe to my channel also. And you can share to your friends. All right, now we have things here that could be helpful. You see, this my project, this area, things in this area actually are the toolbar. This is where most of your tools that you use in this pixel app are in this place. And this is a taskbar. You can send here messages, like there are plenty stuff here. You see the add, the save, the share, the quotes, and three buttons here, for more details, all these details. And you have your undo, you have your zoom in, you have your grid lines, you have your layouts. This is the layout. Any work you're doing and any shape, image, or what have you that you use will appear on this surface. As you go on, you'll see that. Okay, then this is just the menu bar where is the name of the app actually. Then here, when you click on this first toolbar, you see your project. These are projects I've worked on Pixel App. These are projects, many of them that I've worked on Pixel App and more. Okay, now this Pixel App comes with its own background. Even the normal Pixel App has its own default background. This is a default background, followed with this and this and this and this and what have you, as many as you can have here. Okay, then the next is the text tool. This A is for text tool. You can add your text if you want to. You can add your text. You can increase the size of your text from this region. You can adjust it maybe in this place from this region. Okay, then you can also add quotation, just like how this one is, just like how this place is. You can add quotation, and quotations are of different kinds. You can add it in English or French. You can also add quotation based on motivation, success, friendship, happiness, inspiration, positivity, and absurd. Absurd is weird kind of stuff. Whoever is my relative, I will not be nice to them. Something like this. Okay. You see, it's stuff that are weird. That's what absurd is talking about. So we'll be using this. Then now you see that each time you click on any of this particular stuff, it brings out a pop-up menu. This menu here brings out a pop-up menu. So and this menu here helps you to edit whatever you have on your screen. So you see you have your style is when you browse, these are the default styles you have on this app already, and this is your own style. Maybe you created a style and you've saved it as a style. Now I can choose any of these styles. When I'm choosing them, it is reflecting on what I, you see, any of these styles, they are all reflecting on my text, you see, and so on and so forth. Okay, now I can edit it. Maybe I want to change the text or I want to add more. Mic drum. You see, it has appeared. I've edited it the way I want it to be. You see, I can delete it. I can come here and undo. I can copy it and I can send it to front. I can send it to back. Okay, now let's give this one a style. Let's give this a style. Let's give it this style and watch out for this place. I can send it to the front. Observe, look at this region. I can send it to the front, I can send it to the back. I using the effect to front, to back, to front, to back. I can use this my position to adjust my speed to move it, reduce my speed to move it, and minimize my speed very much to move it whichever way I want to be. My relative position can place it are the extreme right, extreme left, extreme top, extreme bottom, center, and middle. Whichever way I want to use it. I have my text size. I can increase my text. I can decrease my text. I can increase it. I can decrease it. Okay. Let's say I want to leave it like this. Who? Okay. I love this concept. All right. Still on this, I can increase the padding. Okay, let's use this one to increase this padding. Your left padding. Let's say you have a text that is cut around this place. You can use the left padding to increase it to adjust it so that it will be very clear, or the right padding to increase the right space. Okay. The color, I can change the color into different colors I want. And I can still come here and change the color segment by segment. Can give this ones blue and come to this ones, give it pink or purple rather. Come to this one, give it another color that I want to give it. I come to this one, give it another color. You see, I've been able to differentiate each of them with different colors. Maybe I want to lay emphasis on a particular stuff, and I can just do like this. But it's not advisable to scatter your colors like this. Maybe I can just decide to make uh, the whoever the emphasis. So I change these other ones to black, for instance. So anytime anybody sees this place, they'll know that oh, whoever is what I'm drawing attention to. Then I can change the color to a gradient color. It can be gradient. These are gradient. Gradient color is the mixture of two or more colors in one. Now I can come to this place. Look at what I did. I clicked on this plus, and when I click on this color icon here, it enables me to select the color from this color palette here. It enables me to select color. So I've selected the color. I can come. I click on this one. I still select another color, for instance, and I can position it whichever way I want with the texture positioning tools that are here. And when I finish, I can decide to flip it using this one to make it go uh, flipped. These buttons are here to look at. Observe this too. You see, so when I click it, it comes to this one. When I click this one, it comes to this one. When I click minus, let's say I added a stuff here, another palette, and I click minus, it has deleted it. So that's the effect. And now this effect, this color effect can it does not separate anything. It affects everything at the same time. It's not like the color alone that you can segment it to get what you want. It's not like the color alone that you can segment to get what you want. Okay, the gradient affects everything. Alright, that's that for gradient. Texture. Okay, let me use this one for texture. Texture. You can select an image. Let's say I want to fit in this texture into the text. I come and crop it to the size I want it to be. Then then I click on this my check mark. You see it has affected it. When I click on enable, it balances the image. I use my scale to adjust it the way I want. You see it's giving it more beautiful effects. You see. So that's what it does. Alright. So I like this one and I'll just leave it. Now we have opacity. Opacity is to reduce the transparency of this particular stuff. Okay, let's use this one. Basically reduces the transparency of whatever you have, be it a text, an image, a picture, anything at all that's on this layout, on this particular screen. It basically helps you to reduce. And this affects shadow. When you enable it, when you have a shadow effect on this your stuff and you're reading the opacity, it will affect the shadow. It also make the shadow transparent. I'll come back to that. Now rotation, you can rotate it 360 degrees, due right or due left. This okay, yeah, this is 180 degrees, this is 180 degrees. So complete rotation is 360 degrees, you see. Alright, then you can mask it. You can mask it. Masking is just you removing a particular portion from your from your designs. You can mask it in, you can mask it out. Okay, you can decide to add another uh, mask editing tool. You can also decide to copy it. If you want to add it, you can decide to copy the particular one you are using to use it to do whatever you want to do. Okay, you can decide to move it. Clicking on this one helps you to move it whichever way you want to do, and this one helps you remove the node. Look at these points here. These tiny points are called the nodes. So it helps you delete the nodes. Let me quickly remove this many of them so that I use one to explain. Now this one, two, three, four stuff, those points here, they are called nodes. So yeah, I can delete the nodes from this. I can decide to add to increase the scale, like the size of the stuff I'm using to work. I can decide to increase it. I can decide to rotate it whichever way I want to. Okay, so that's that for mask. Now fonts, we have over 50 fonts. Just like we did in the color selection, we can give this stuff different fonts. Let's say I want this whoever to be a stylish font, and let this stuff be a default font, and I want to change this mic tone to this. You see, it has affected it. So once I just come to my screen back, you see I'm having this stuff. So the first thing that people will see, they will see this who at this top, they'll see this mic tone, and they'll read this stuff. Then they'll have to zoom in to know what this particular whoever here is talking about. Alright, that by the way, you can decide to use your bold, this your style. You can decide to put your bold, your slanty, your underline. And you can decide to undo everything you've done. The same way you've done for all the ones, you can decide to, select them partition by partition to bolden them, to make some parts italic, and to underline. You see, it has a different feel. Look at it, it has a different feel. Okay, that's by the way. Curve, you can decide to curve it to like this, whichever way you want to curve it. It's your choice. You can come here to undo. Background text, you can add a background text to the text. Okay, because the text is in the dark portion, so you have to add something bright to make the text visible. Yeah, it is a poor contrast. Yeah, something like this. You know this bright color, you can come here and select any bright color you want and work with it. So now you can increase the padding of this your border, uh, this your background text shape that you've added. You can adjust it to the top, the bottom. You can also cause a reduce at the edges, make the edges smooth. Okay, you can align these stuff to the left, to the center, and to the right. You can justify it if you are doing a project work. Justify it either to the left, justify it either in the middle, or justify it at the extreme right. Whichever way you justify it, it's your choice. You can space these letters apart. You can space the words apart, whichever one you want to do. Either you space the letters or you space the words. You can come here and always redo. Undo. Now you can space the lines. You see the bottom and the top lines. You can space them. Maybe I want this one to come close as this. So you can space them further apart and closer. I come and undo. I can add stroke. Stroke is a border color, like a border color to each of the text. I can change the color of the stroke to whatever I want. I can increase the stroke to any length I want it to be. I can make the stroke a gradient color. I can make it a gradient. I can make it whatever I want to. That's my choice. That's how to use stroke. Shadow is to make it look realistic, make it look real. I can reduce the opacity of the shadow. I can make it transparent here. I can make the shadow blur very much. I can enable the glow of the shadow. I can send it, this X and Y offset is send it maybe to position it very well to give it a 3D look. Now this is how it's going to be. Let me quickly show you something like that. Let's give it this kind of background, this kind of color instead. And let me zoom it in so that you see the effect it's going to give it. Now you see, I've created it to look like a 3D effect. It now has a 3D effect on it. If you look at this portion, you see that it's having a 3D effect on it. That's by the way. That's by the way. Inner shadow is to add shadow inside. Okay, let me use this text. Okay, let me use this text. Inner shadow adds a shadow inside text. You see, observe it. You see, it adds a shadow inside the text to make it more realistic. You see, I can change the color of the inner shadow to whatever I want to change it to. So that's that. I can see work on the offset like I've done with the other ones. I can work on the offset and while an X offset, sorry. So now we'll come to emboss. Emboss is actually a tool that we can use to make this stuff look more realistic. Okay, the reason why this stuff is like this is because it's either the text is too big for the emboss to be perfect. Let's see. Let me reduce the text. Let me reduce the text size. Okay, now let's try the emboss again. Okay, now the emboss will be very much effective. Now let's zoom it in so I can see the effect of the emboss. Let's use this whoever. So let's use this whoever. Now this one is giving me the angle where the light should come from. So I want the light to come from this region. Look at where the light is now. Look at this region. So I want the light to come from this region now, so that the shadow will be at this portion. So I come and increase the intensity of the light. I can increase the hardness a little. I can increase the bevel. But bevel is giving it an edge, like blending the edge of this stuff to have a 3D effect feel on it. Then I can include strokes if I want to include strokes. If I don't want to include stroke, I can just enable this. If I want to include stroke, I enable it. So that's that for emboss. Perspective is just simply there to change the shape. Or okay, let's make this thing smaller so that we understand what perspective is doing in this game. Now perspective is there to help your work look more realistic as though it is in real life. Maybe to do a mock-up or to make it, maybe you created a logo and you want to mock it up to um, a wall or a shirt or anything at all. You can make it also look something as if it is wavy. See, it makes stuff look smaller when they are farther apart and bigger when they are closer to you. Look at it from this direction to this direction. See, it's now closer and farther. Okay, all right. That's a perspective. 3D rotation. You can rotate it on the x-axis, y-axis. That's it. This x-axis, this y-axis. 3D text, just like we had a little stuff on the emboss. We have the perspective. Look at the depth of the perspective. Is it the depth? You have the oblique. Look at the depth of the oblique. You can use this stuff to create shadow effects. So in one of my classes, I was teaching us how to use this particular stuff effectively. In creating your mockups, this is very essential too. You can change the color to whatever you want. You can make the stuff look brighter or darker. You can position the stuff to whichever region you want it to be. Maybe I want it to be in this region, and I still like it to be in this region. You can rotate it to your Z rotation, your diagonal rotation. Rotate it, the right angle can still be rotated. The intensity, just like you had for emboss, is the same thing here. So that's it. You can add a shadow to this stuff. Background shadow, use the 3D shadow to make it look as if it's standing on something. You can change the color of the shadow to whatever you want. Reduce opacity, increase opacity, reduce the blur radius, expand it, make it look as though it's standing on something. Look at the effect. Okay. You can add a text reflection to it. Look at text reflection. You can add text reflections to this, and that's it. Okay, you can still do a whole lot of things too with this. Now, in this, okay, this when we're done with text here. We'll go back to the shapes. Yeah, the first one we have stickers. Look at this is a sticker. The reason why it's not seen is because it's white. If you come to color, you can change it. You see that it's appeared red. You undo, you undo, you undo. The next is import. Okay, in the stickers we have a lot of stuff. So we have a lot of stickers here. You can select anyone you want to use for your design. Here are other stickers, and here are emojis you can use to whichever one you want to use. Now you can import images from your gallery. Let's say I want to use this image to work, for instance. I've imported it. I can decide, you see, because I've imported it, I have this my pop-up menu again that I can use to edit this stuff. This my edit tools has appeared again. So I can reselect from my Google if I'm not from my gallery if I'm not satisfied with what I have chosen before. And I can delete, I can undo, I can crop, I can crop it, I can crop and move my crop to whichever direction I want it to be. See? I can copy just like we've done in the text. I can move to front. Okay, let's copy. I can move to front, I can move to back, you see. Alright, I can position it whichever way I want to position it. I can reduce the size from here, position it wherever I want to position it, and move it to the back. So this is it. I can make it look just like this. And all these other ones, the relative position, this relative size, increase or decrease in size. I can work on the height too. Both of them, you see that both of them go hand in hand. Okay, the color changing, I can change color, texture, like we've done before. I can add texture to it and it takes the shape of the texture, but I don't want the texture. I can make opacity be on it. Okay, I said I will show us the effect of shadow when this affects shadow. Okay, let me quickly go and introduce a shadow. Now this is a shadow I've introduced. Let me use the shadow out for us to see. Now I come to my opacity. When I click affect shadow, you see when I'm reducing the opacity, it's affecting the shadow. But when I disable it, see that the shadow is still there. When I enable it, see that the shadow has faded also. So that is that about opacity using shadow. This color filter is one tool that you all should pay very keen attention to. This can help change the color of this particular product. Now I want it to be this color. I can increase the saturation to make it more attractive. I can work on the brightness, work on make it dark or bright. I can work on the contrast to lay a difference to it. So I can decide to leave it in this manner and also do the same thing for this other small one here using this color filter. So I've given it a similar complementary color. You see that both of them are not the same color. Look at it. Look at it. This is how to zoom. You pinch your two hands apart, zoom in, zoom out. So both of them are not the same color equally, but they are complementing each other. Now, the strokes, like we know, add the border color, so you can change it to whatever color you want to. You can increase the stroke to anything at all. Erase, you can erase. This particular eraser is the one that gives you sharp edges. When you increase this blur, it gives you smooth edges. Let me zoom it in for you to see. You see the sharp edges, you see the smooth edges. So that's what this eraser does. So this one is for giving it a handle. You want to use it and hold it. You don't want to touch this portion. You want to touch only this portion. So you can use it and hold it and go wherever you want to go. You can use it and always undo. Now I don't want to use this. I don't want to use this. I don't want to use this. See that? It's giving me a stylish effect. See? So if I change the background color now, let me quickly. I'll show us how to do this. See that the stuff has affected this image. See, it is giving it a signature kind of look. I might decide to say, okay, I want to sign my signature on this stuff. I say, okay, I want to sign my signature. So I reduce it and I sign. Okay, sorry, this is too much. You can just say, okay, let me sign here, and I click check. You see, it has given me a look. Look at the look it has given me. It has given me something beautiful. It was never there before, but I just added it. I can decide to change it on any background I use. It will always appear, but it's best advised to use a dark background for this kind of stuff. Okay. Now let me quickly undo what I've done. Yes, and let's continue where we were. Mask 2, just like I told us before in this stuff. You can use mask 2 in, out, and wherever you want it to be. You can use your mask 2. You can rotate it whichever way you want it to go. That's that for mask 2. Just like using text. Erase color is another powerful tool you need to know. You see, once you activate it, it removes the white portion of any stuff. This is what you use to edit backgrounds. Now you can smoothen the edges. You see, when we're smoothing the edges, it's giving it a blur effect on the edges of this particular image. Look at it very well. Giving it a blur effect. See, but that's not what I want to do. Maybe I want to remove this green color, for instance. So I just come, I click on this my eye picker, color picker. Sorry, I move to the green region and I click my check mark. You see, that remove the green. I can remove the tolerance of the green. Maybe I want it to be rarely visible. I can decide to add another portion where I can just pick off this color and make it look like this. Increase the tolerance. And if I want to add smooth edges, maybe I want to use it for a background or something. You get, and I can just put it somewhere. Reduce the opacity. You see, reduce the opacity and send it to the back. It's not giving me a very powerful look, you see. Now I told us about this layer. You see that because we're working with these two stuff, they are appeared here. So I can just decide to, okay, since I've done this, let this one just be somewhere here to give me what I want. Then I can put up my write up somewhere here. I'm just using this to show us something for us to get an understanding with this. You can decide to change the color to this and change the font into something more. Let's say, okay, let this font be okay. So you see, it can be as simple as this. Now we've created something that is beautiful as a design. You see it. I can try to copy this one and put it wherever I want to put it by rotating it, putting it anywhere to the back. Putting this one, rotate this one too, putting it somewhere here to the back. I can reduce the opacity very well if I want to. That's my choice though. I can just make this one there. So this is one of the effects you can do. See, I've created something that is very beautiful and there's also a background. Now let's continue. We were at erase color. You see, that's just the effect of the erase color. You can pick, you can minus, remove any particular stuff you've added. You can remove it by minus. Now your rotation, just like how this stuff would help you. That's what your rotation also does. Your 3D rotation, you know the 3D rotation already. So even maybe you want to make it a mock-up, you come add your 3D shape effects to it. Either the perspective. Remember I thought that's what perspective is, using the text. Or you can use the oblique perspective. So whichever one you want to use, then that can edit it from here just like that one. You can use your 3D effect. Let me show you something quickly. Perspective is like this. And I come to use my 3D effect and I turn it in this place. You see that it has made the stuff look more realistic. And the reason why it's like this is because maybe it needs the size to increase or stuff. So that this thing will not be, or let me reduce the size very much. Okay, now you've seen that everything has sat in place. You see. So we've used this particular stuff to achieve another thing. Okay. That's for now perspective. We already know what perspective is. You can just work on it a bit and that's all. If you want to. See, just give it another different look. Give it another different new look. Shadow, you add shadow to it. You can blur it, you cannot blur it if you want to. You can reduce, make it go to X or do Y. Whatever you want to do with it. Inner shadow, like we already did in the text, adds more beautiful feel to it. However you want to use it. Emboss, the same thing. Remember we talked about it. Where your light should come from, where it should not come from. And you edit it. So that's that for using these images. Okay, that's that for using this. So the next we have is, let me quickly move all the stuffs. The next we have is this. Okay, sorry. Let me explain this stuff to us first. You see, in this layout, we have this check button. But before the check button, we have this. This is to adjust this stuff to maybe hide it or bring it out. Maybe you want to be working and be also knowing how what we're using to work. That's when you have plenty content to work on. You can just drag it in and later on you bring it out to check on what or tap on what you want to edit or work on. You can try to lock it. You can try to make it disappear by clicking on this eye tool. That make it appear. Well, it disables it from moving. You see, okay, this one that is moving is this one. So it cannot move anymore. Once you click it, that's selected. So no one is moving. That's it. Am I saving it already? Okay, that's by the way. So I'll unlock all of them. Now I click on this check tool. You see, I can select everything and I can delete them. I can still select everything. I can click on this place. I can rotate them. Everything. I can still select everything and I increase the size or I decrease the size. Is that I increase or I decrease? So whichever one I do, that's what is going to become. Then I can still select everything or maybe a portion. Let's say I want to select only this one, two portion. I can position it to the middle, to the right, to the left, to the anywhere I want to position it to. I can select just a portion. It's not necessary that it's my I can decide to hide this portion I've selected. See, select the portion. I can decide to lock it. Select the portion. I can decide to unlock it like I've done the locking before. I can still decide to move it, delete, see it moving. Now I can select all or some. I come to this place and I merge them. Merging means you are grouping them to be one. Okay, so that's the effect. Now I've made these stuffs one. So they are all moving together. Before they were not one, but now they are one. Okay. I can decide to bring this place, this thing, this is on select mode. I can decide to bring it on the editable mode. Now this place is locked. Like after that, this is making it invisible. Here is once you click on this edit to here, you see that this is what it has. You have your edit text, you have your copy, you have your text size. This is the text size. You have your rotation, you have your relative position. This is it. You have your color. This is it. You have your to front or to back. That's it. To front, to back. The same thing everywhere here. This one is text, so it has the edit and the text size. Now this one is not text, so it has the copy, the relative size, and other stuff too. That is it about this side, and now I want to talk on the other ones. On this particular uh, toolbar here, this is why I picked my color for the background before. This to mainly work on the background. I can make it transparent. I can give it the color I want. I can increase the size. Okay, here is where I can work on my size, the layout size. I can make it YouTube banner. You see, it has changed the size. I can make it YouTube thumbnail. It's still the same size. I can make it Facebook cover is slimmer. I can make it Google Plus is like my YouTube thumbnail, and this Twitter heading is the smallest of all. And I can decide to give it any height I want. I give it here. See, I've given it what I want. Try to edit it to give it 5 million. This million, okay. One more there to this. It's very tiny. That's why it did not appear. Do it is very tiny. Okay, I can give this one this. You see, it has appeared. But it's very, very tiny. So that's that for that. I can still do a whole lot of things with it. This crop is when maybe I've added an image, the different default images we have. I guess I can decide to crop it to maybe a portion, and you see the portion is showing. I can decide to change the image to maybe I want this layout and I want only this portion, so I can just crop it to this portion. And I click OK. See, it has been edited successfully. I don't want this blurry background at this right, so I can just decide to make it like this. You see, I can pick images from my gallery if I wish. From my gallery, let's say I want to make this stuff the background color, and the layout I'm using is square, so I can use the square. If it is the thumbnail, I use this one. What have you? There are different formats here, so I want to use the square. I can rotate this stuff to be like this. I can turn it back. I can make it big. Maybe after selecting the stuff, I can unlock it so that I can be able to adjust it by myself. I can make it a circular stuff. Maybe I want this portion in circular form like this. I can flip it like this. I can turn it upside down. I can turn it like this. So whichever way I want, look at the effect. I can still, sorry, I can still crop it and by clicking the stuff and removing the stuff like this. So it has appeared the way I want it to be. You see? From camera, I can just simply look at something, okay, and snap this and click on my check. And I can adjust it whichever way I want. Maybe I want only this portion to be my background. And it's now my background. You see it? And here we have the rotation. Rotate the background whichever way you want. The fig needs to add black border colors to it or any other color you want to it. And you can reduce the vignette texture, brightness of that. You can add noise. Noise, this is what noise is all about, just a rough surface. You can reduce the noise.
You can add ripples. You can increase the thickness of the ripples. You can reduce the thickness of the ripples. You can increase the ripple size. You can increase the ripple size here. So that's that. Maybe on my ripple to be showing a little like this and a little visible. You see the ripple. Okay, you can work on the brightness. You can work on the contrast. You can work on the hue, and you can work on the saturation. So that's that for all this. You can decide to save this as a PNG is you saving it as an image without background. Mainly, it's just maybe you work on something like a logo and stuff, and you want it to be something downloadable without the background stuff like that. So you can just select your background to be on transparent. Let's say let's say I want sorry. Let's say I want this stuff. Okay, let me quickly delete this. Let's say I want this stuff to be. Let me quickly remove the stuff I did on it. Um, okay. Now let me say okay. I want to save this stuff to look like um the transparent stuff. So I come here. Sorry, I make my background transparent. You see, my background is now transparent. So I can come to this image, save it as PNG, then default. I want it to be of high quality, so I put it ultra, and I save to my gallery. So once I save it to my gallery, I automatically have this particular image without a background. Now this is my gallery. Welcome to my gallery, and here is my pixellab folder. You see, I now have this particular image to be here. See, it is here without background. I can send it to somebody from here immediately. All right, that is that about that. I think we're done with this place, and I've shown us what here is about. Here we have a lot of stuff. Here I can make it full screen. We've talked about using image from galleries. That's to import. Use image from camera to snap and use. Export image, that's to save or send to somebody. Image size to adjust the size. Contact us. This is where you want to contact pixellab management. Once you click it, it refers you to. Okay, there's no internet connection. My data is off. That's why. Okay. Okay, let me quickly turn on the data so that you see how it works. Contact us. It redirects you. Maybe you send them. I love. Sorry for this. You can send them. I love pixel and you send them. Okay, they ask for a length of message. Okay, I can just say you just select an idea. So I love pixel. Okay, okay. The same image is below length. So I love pixel and I'll need an upgrade on pixel. So I've sent it to them. So I can try to send it to them using my Gmail or my Spike. I have a Spike app. That's that for that one. Uh Tutorials, you have a lot of videos. It will link you to videos on YouTube where you can learn some things about pixellab. You see it leads you to places where you can learn some things about pixellab. Okay, then you can remove ads. Let's say the ads are disturbing you too much, you can just remove ads. You can always remove ads. Okay, this version does not support it, okay, but the normal pixellab would redirect you to the Google Play Store, and for you to be able to download something that can remove ads for you. Maybe your data is on, and each time you want to save something, there are always ads that are popping up for you to save stuff like that. I can recover auto save. Let's say I want to recover something I did around 9:58 a.m. And this is what I did around that time. You see it, I've recovered it. I can open my PLP file. So
I can open my PLP file. I have this as my PLP file. Okay, I can just come to this place and I open an ad. I've opened and added it. Let me recover my autosave. Use my autosave. I've recovered it. Then about pixellab, I can see a little stuff about pixellab. I can browse stuff about pixellab if I want to. And if I want to exit, I just exit pixellab. If I don't want to exit, okay, let me recover what I did. Oh, my autosave was not found because I exited already. Okay, that's it. That's all about pixellab. Thank you very much for your patience and staying tuned with me. Do well to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell for more videos, and drop your questions in the comment section, and I will attend to all of it. Thank you very much.